Hey, a big congratulations goes out to Shot Clock's very own, Boss So Hard's very own, Team Temple's director, Coach Anthony Willis. Man, he has accepted the role of head coach for the Woodlands Prep International School, man. And so, man, we just want to salute him, man. And this ain't y'all gonna see this flyer all throughout today's show, man. Just preparing y'all, man. Ant, man,
What's good? What's good?
how you feeling right now, man? We're gonna move it down. How you feeling, man? How you feeling, man? Head coach, man. High school
Hey,
head coach at that, man.
I mean, I'll be honest, man. Like,
I gotta
I know.
interview you today now. Let me get myself let me get the lighting right. Here we go. Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking, man.
I mean, to be honest, man, like it's a blessing, truly for me. Um, starting coaching back in 2007. I've been in this game for a long time. A lot of people don't know. Some of the, guys now don't know. Like I've been in the game a long time. I'm an old head, and I'm 35, but I'm an old head. I started in Umbo at the gym working for Jerry, coaching the ninth and 10th grade team, and things just kind of ran from there. You know, I spent my first couple years out there coaching another team called Houston Flight, which is crazy because there's a Houston Flight now. It used to be another one back in the day out in the Umber area. And then, as I was playing small college ball in Lone Star, my mentor, Coach D. Jesus, back in 2010, brought me on at Lone Star Tomball, where I started coaching college basketball. I was coaching against San Jack, Blinn, Baytown Lee, Navarro, all the Region 14, Region 5, Collins County, all those schools. And then with the blessing of doing that in 2015, when I kind of really hit that ground running, everybody got to see me at Concordia for 3 years, won a state title over there with Coach Bill Honick, who honestly really helped me grow as an offensive coach and understand the game on another level. Coach Chris D. Jesus taught me a lot of things from a defensive standpoint. That's really what my mentor is about. And then big shout out to my other big mentor, Coach DJ Anderson, who taught me the game about training and really developing kids, their skill set. With that type of, you know, learning from those guys. And then I was also at Elodia for 3 years coaching, and I got to know a guy named Kevin Roy, who's from Indiana, who coached big time in Indiana, helped me a lot of things. But I'm gonna keep it real to a lot of people. Norman Shippers taught me the business. He taught me how to be a professional, how to really be an entrepreneur, working with him out there and things like that, and really helped me along meeting Gannon Baker, who's one of the all-time greatest trainers out there, helped me as well, mentoring, things like that. And that's how I started my own company, TBT Sports, back in the day in 2013. Then I kind of got AAU teams in 2015, and then I just ran with it from there. Now I got Team Temple and the Institute. I did 1 year with Coach Mouton over at Second Baptist, allowed me to coach over there, coach the 8th grade team right before the pandemic. We went 28-1, which was a great year for me over there. And, took the year off after that. Then coach, went back to doing the AAU stuff. And then now this blessing, Ben Perkins, again, big shout out to Ben, really, really giving me this opportunity. I built a relationship with Ben a long time ago. When I first started coaching, been knowing him for a long time, just watching him move with his stuff as well. And, a lot of things he's done, I've kind of, piggybacked to when I first started from a lot of things he did as well. So it's just a blessing, man, getting this opportunity to coach, as a head coach is big. I've done a lot of assistant coaching, but now I get to really build my own cultural and spread what I've been spreading, my mentoring and how I believe and what I believe in and how, I think this young generation needs to see. I've been doing a lot of that in the AAU world. Now, coaching in high school is going to give me a bigger stage. So I'm just truly appreciated and blessed for this opportunity and look forward to everything that comes with it. I mean, letting people know now I'm looking for games, you know what I'm saying? Non-conference, district games, I'm looking tournaments as well. And again, I'll play anybody. We're going to travel all over the place. I'll play anybody. It doesn't matter. And, I'm just looking to start working with these kids and just get them better.
Hey, just to give people just a little bit of more info as far as like where you guys are affiliated with. Just a little, just talk a little. You don't have to go into great details, but just like who your guys affiliated with, and then as well as the whole outlook of what the big picture really is going to be, without giving everything away. Without giving everything away.
Hey, I can't give nothing away too early, but I will say this: a lot of people may not know about Woodlands Prep and where it started from. And the biggest thing is Woodlands Prep was a TAPS school up until 2015. They was like 1A, 2A TAPS. It's really called Woodlands Preparatory International School. So it is a private school. We're still a private school. We will just be independent. They have high academics. They've always had a lot of people come from overseas. When they brought the Exxon Mobil to the Woodlands, a lot of those kids went to that school. We will be independent. We will play in Marcus Sloan's conference. We will be in the SWAC coming up here this year. So we will be playing in that. The biggest thing that I'm trying to do with my program, the first player you're going to call as head coach, gotta call. What you talking about? Hey, that is crazy because that is so true. What you talking about, Wiz? Hey, I got him. Excuse me, y'all. My throat's been dry. But yeah, so we're gonna play in that conference. And my goal is to eventually be a school where we play a national schedule. We will have 2 varsity teams, and we will have a middle school team. So, but our goal is to play at the highest. If I can do it this first year, then we will, But the key thing that me and Ben want to do is create a place where kids can really develop. That's what we're going to aim at and focus on. It's all about development. We're going to try to make it as college prep as possible, where we're going to have coaches that are going to be able to work with every position possible, which is positionless, but we're going to try to teach kids all the skill sets they need. We're going to teach kids how to be professional. We're going to teach kids how to make it in the real world if basketball doesn't work out, and for sure how to be a college athlete and hopefully professional as well. So it's going to be something different. I think to go along with everything we're going to do sports-wise, I'm very, very happy and excited about the education. We'll be able, kids to be able to take Spanish, Mandarin, French. They're going to be able to take a lot of different courses that's going to make them very academically rounded, so that when they go to college, I mean, if we can get some kids to go to Ivy Leagues, that'll be big, places like Stanford, things like that. So we're looking not only just make them better in sports, but academically as well. So, that's going to be a big plus for us, as we go on and build. So.
Okay, talk about the campus a little bit, man. Just something about the campus people may not know.
Well, first of all, the school can hold up to it can hold up to 600 people. So it'll be a good size school with K through 12. We have 2 full court facilities. We have a lunchroom, just so everybody know we got that in there. It is off of Grand Park 99 and Crocodile, where we have a nice big campus. If you look it up, it'll show you on Google, it'll show you a picture, an actual picture of what the campus looked like. And we also are doing some renovations to the gym. We're going to be adding some multi-purpose things outside to do different things as well with our sports. You know, it's going to be a good situation. We're going to have housing. So it's going to be, and in a year, we'll have dorms. So it's going to be a good situation. You know, I'm really excited about it and everything that comes with it, and that we'll be able to offer to not only kids in the city of Houston, but nationally.
Yeah, man. Hey, once again, man, I know the community is congratulating you, man. Congrats, man. But before I let you off the hook, man, you, for a minute there, you was going to step away. So what drew you back into the coaching mode? What got you back in that mode, man? And Ben was able to see something in you from watching you throughout the years, and you didn't even know you was being evaluated, but just evaluate you throughout the years. But what really got you back in that coaching mode, man? Um, and it's just like a guy was putting things in place at the right time for you, man.
uh, I'll be honest. The pandemic. The pandemic helped me really see what my purpose was in life after, stepping away from other situations, not after doing 1 year at Second Baptist and things like that, and then starting Team Temple with Chris Hines also helped me as well. Because I was gonna just do the director role and I end up coaching the 14U team. And from a school standpoint, I wasn't really for sure if I wanted to go back to it, but I knew my biggest dream and the thing I've always prayed for was to be a head coach. So when Ben, approached me with that opportunity, it was everything I wanted. So from there, I felt like it was that time and the right time that God presented that opportunity to take it. And I think everything works out the way it's supposed to, and you said a very, very big thing that's very important. You said, I've been evaluated for a long time. And sometimes we get as people, we can get discouraged because we don't think people notice what we're doing. And sometimes we have to be just continue to be self-motivated and keep our head up and keep moving and allow God to keep opening doors and realize that really he's the only true evaluator that we got to worry about, because anything we need or anything we want, he gonna make it happen, but in his time. And I think it was my time, like I said, God shined the light on me and I stepped through, and I mean, I'm happy about it.
Oh, that's big, man. And what you just said right there, um, it segues us right into what I wanted to discuss for today, and that was, to trust your own process, have faith in the things and the ability that you do really well. Like, be strong in that. Don't A lot of people, like you said, are quick to give up. You know, man, I've been doing this for years. I should be on a shoe circuit by now. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Blah blah blah.
I went through that. I thought that too. I went
You,
through that.
yeah, you just got to keep doing it the way that you've been doing it. And to some, they may not like it. Others may love it. And so you never know, because you're always being evaluated by somebody. Somebody is always watching. You may not think that they're paying attention, but there's people who are always paying attention, and not just as a coach, just as anything in life, no matter what it is. Um, People are always paying attention to you. So even on the job, for those of you who work, regular 9 to 5, there's people around you who are watching you at all times. Waiting for you to slip up, waiting for you to mess up. Just some people watch the way you move, and they like, oh man, I really like the way that he moves. I really like the way that he does this thing. And so you have to be able to trust your own process. The way that I'm doing it, I know this is the right way. I know that I'm going to be blessed eventually. Hey, I may not never get a head coaching job somewhere, but guess what? I may be a blessing to someone else's kid through this opportunity. You never honestly know what the outcome really is going to be because you are a vessel, and sometimes you're being used and you don't even know that you're being used. Um, and so it just makes me think of a lot of biblical parables that happen and that go on. Um, you just never know. You never know who God is going to use for what situation, whatever. And, me being a big believer in God, faith without works is dead. So you got to have some works behind what it is that you believe in. So if I profess and say that I believe in God, I have to work in His vineyard to show that my faith in Him, is my faithfulness, as Mr. Dr. Lewis just said, is going to pay off. And so if I have faith in my ability to be a scout, then I have to work really hard at that. And I still have to keep, for me, I still have to keep God first ahead of everything, and then he takes care of everything else. And so your faith, you believe in God, you believe in Jesus Christ, you believe in all of that, but you have faith because you always put team TBT, Team Temple. Everything always was Christ related in a sense for you, and so God was looking out for you, man. Hey,
Nah, I mean it's true, man, and you know a lot of stuff that I've done over the years. I used to feel like that people wasn't paying attention or even looking at it at all, and you know a couple years ago, especially once I got my family and things like that, I started realizing that God picked me to be a servant, and we all was meant to do that. And it made me start kind of being a little bit more balanced with trusting the process because of so much I have done that sometimes I don't think people have noticed over the years and where I've moved. And I was in Humble, I was in Tomball, I've been in Cypress now. I've moved around and touched so many people. And sometimes I don't think people pay attention to that, but I had to start realizing that again, like I said, as long as God paying attention and things going the way it needs to go, it's gonna continue to work out. It's gonna keep, moving forward, and everything that He wants to happen is gonna happen. So, that's truly the way to look at it, is trust your own process, And I think kids need to realize that, today, I didn't play big time college basketball. I played at a small community college basketball. I didn't, I'm still finishing school right now. I haven't, been in certain situations and everything still worked out. Everything worked out what I wanted and it's still working out. There's still other things that's building up and going. So we gotta sometimes realize, man, like everything is possible. Everything.
no, it is, man. It is, man. And you gotta keep to the plow, man. That's
Yep.
no matter what it is you do. Coach Stewart, man, I believe one day you will be a head coach, man. Um, your time will come. It will. Um, and when it does, you know, I'm gonna have you on the show. We
Facts.
gonna get you a nice little poster, man. Like something looking like this, nice little poster for you, Coach Stewart, man, and be happy for you, and take joy in your moment as if it is our moment, because when you succeed, I succeed. When Dr. Newsom succeeds, I succeed. Coach Stewart succeeds, I succeed. When Melvin Dews succeed, I succeed. And so that's just me. And so I'm gonna give flowers, where everybody can see praise, man, in front of everybody. It to me, because that's how it's supposed to be. We're a community. We're supposed to uh lift each other up. We're supposed to build each other up. We're supposed to congratulate each other. We're supposed to, hold each other down, not tear down one another, not be so upset. Oh, I don't know why or how he got the position. I don't. What's for you is for you. That's all it is, man. So uh, once again, man, congrats to the boy Aunt Willis. Hey, man, congrats, man. Once again, man. Hey,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it, man. I'm still low key over here, like, hey, man, this is real. So,
oh yeah, so it's surreal at times, man. It is. It is.
Mr. Dudes needs to stop, man. Mr.
Oh
Dudes
yeah,
needs to
man.
stop.
Mr. News be clowning, man.
Hey, he be clowning. He be clowning, bro. He be clowning.
But yeah, man. Once again, man, we just want to thank all y'all who tune in, um, all the time for all y'all feedback, y'all comments. We truly do appreciate all of it. And so, man, anything else you want to touch on, Ant, about the
Uh,
prep or just
I mean, it's gonna. Hey, listen, it's gonna keep coming, man. I don't want to give too much, but I will say, man, that with this opportunity is not to um, hurt anybody or hinder any relationships. It's to help the community, and that's what I want people to see. I want everything to be understood as me helping the community. And because when I look at it, we are the third, fourth largest city in the United States.
yeah, we're probably third.
And the last time I knew a big time prep school or a school that was nationally was Christian Life Learning Center. And from that standpoint, you had DeAndre Jordan, you had Ben McLemore, you had a lot of big time guys come out of that school, and that was good for the city. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's all I'm trying to do is create a situation that's gonna help the city, not to just only put me on the light, but to put the city on the light, because it's just too much talent here in this city, and that we need to do our best to develop and try to put out there amongst the nation, So, and it's a great city for other kids to want to come to and get this competitiveness that we do in Texas, how we do it in Houston. It's different. It's grimy. So it's a grind. So a lot of kids will love to come out here and play on that stage. So it's big. So what's good, my guy Bobby? Hey, what's up, baby? What's up, baby?
We got
congrats, coach.
Hey, appreciate it. I don't know about that A-League, Bobby.
Man, in the house. This is not a Southwest.
Hey,
look, baby. Texas
me
party.
And my boy Bobby. Hey,
I just
want
to
know about it, bro.
This ain't
know about the grind.
Hey, man, it's swag.
Hey, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? hey, Toby just dropped a new song. He letting y'all know.
Yeah.
So so, but yeah, man. Hey, but nah, man. But I'm truly blessed for this situation, man. Truly blessed. So.
Yeah, A-Leaf in the house, man.
My boy T. Jules.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody congratulating you, Ant, man.
Yeah, yep.
It is well deserved. Hey, Grassroots Talk Week 10. Coach Bobby, man, you said something so profound the other day on Twitter, man. How you want to get, hey, listen, coaches, we need to all get together. We need to sit down. We need to evaluate these tournament directors and what they're doing, and know who we truly can invest our money in, who is really helping put our kids out there, man. Just talk a little bit about that.
Well, basically, just like you're around everywhere, but we know a lot of these guys, so it's not basketball. We talk out the basketball in the parking lot. And a lot of times we just networking to try to see what's best for our programs. So after each tournament, we kind of talk, hey, well, where you guys going? Where y'all was at last week? How was it? How was the event? Is it worth going to? Should I not go to the event or whatever? And so just talking to everybody and being at different places and different things and dealing with different things. I just think we all need to talk. And then it's been mentioned on the Chop Shop before, so it's not nothing new. Um, I guess I was just one of the guys that I'm not scared to say let's bring it to the table. So that was
Right.
more of it's just like, hey, this been talked about. Everybody has something to say. Well, they just gotta come together and that's at the market. There's no more paying $500-600, $400-500 when it's not even a live period. Them live period prices. Now, if you have something that's worth the $400 or $500, then that's the difference. But it's a lot going on. Some tournaments are worth the money. Some tournaments aren't worth the money, according to some of us. So we just want to figure out what's best for these kids, and who we should support and who we shouldn't support.
No, I'm with you on that, and you bring up a great point when you say that some of these tournaments ain't worth the $500. Um, and then there are events such as you guys were going to do a whole circuit thing that would have been really big, really beneficial. I was on board.
Mm-hmm.
But people just didn't see the vision. They didn't get it, and then sometimes that hurts. Um, because really this could have benefited everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not
And,
not overcharging you. We
we
bring
ain't
in
throw that
college
idea away,
coaches.
coach. We still go.
Oh yeah,
It's
no,
on
no.
it's
I
on
know it
hold
ain't. I
right
know
now.
it ain't off the table completely. I just want people
Okay.
to know, like, it's some events that's not that expensive that you can go to and get some really good exposure because of who people are connected with. And so I just was having this conversation with a parent about doing research on basketball programs, like summer ball programs. And there's some programs where their coaches are not connected to no college coach at all.
Mm,
And
right.
then so they always wonder, oh, my son, he was nobody seen him, nobody talked about him. And then also, well, what events are y'all playing in? And
Mm-hmm.
if people would just do their research and really get out there and ask the tough questions and be okay with being like, hey, look, I know that you and my son they're best friends, but my son has a dream and a goal, and so I need him to go play over here so that they can help him best to try to achieve that. And
Right.
so what is you're a program director, you're well connected with a lot of coaches, you help out a lot of kids who don't even play for your program. People have no clue. um,
Appreciate it.
and so just want to throw you your flowers too, man,
Thank you.
because you do
Appreciate
a
it.
lot behind the scene work. And so but as a program director, how what's your take on people who always talk about my kid ain't getting the right exposure, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth.
Um, it basically come down to what you said is how much research they've done. Um, you know, a lot of times we listen to what people offer us, but we, like you say, we don't research and see it. Are they capable of really delivering this? Have they done this before? Who did they help last year? A lot of those things. And then, every year change because just like yourself, because you taught me a lot too, just being around, always picking your brain. These coaches get new jobs every year. But
Hmm.
also as an AAU coach, director, even the coaches, because I tell my coaches too, y'all need to try to connect with college coaches. You're gonna be coaching the kids, you go tell everybody you're helping the kids. So make sure you're really connecting with some college coaches. But every year you should get more college coaches.
That's true.
So if you don't have many this year, that's okay. But during the process of this year, and you have some kids, you need to be, like I say, I use the kids and I want them to use me. If a kid is talented enough, I want to use them for his talent so I could keep the connections I have with the college coaches because they want players at the end of the day.
Hmm.
They don't want kids that can't cut the mustard. They want somebody that's a prospect. So if I feel like I have a prospect, I tell that kid and I tell his parents, well, it's gonna be a use situation. That's not misused each other. Meaning, like you go out to come to practice. We have a conditioning day. You need to show up because if nothing's gonna be given to you. But I'm gonna work my butt off. If you work your butt off, and hopefully we both um, just walk away. With our goals achieved.
Yeah, no doubt. And another thing, outside of the Houston Raptors, you got Extra Eyes Media going on, and y'all do a lot with helping kids to be able to be comfortable, being interviewed in front of a camera, how to answer questions a certain way. Because remember the time, I won't say kid's name, but remember we hopped on the phone with the college coach. And so it was me, it was Coach Bobby, and it was a player.
I
Um,
remember that.
and we hopped on the phone with a college because I'm the type of guy like if a college coach hits me and be like, "Hey man, you gave me this kid number, but he ain't contacting me back, and I know this kid has nothing at all." I'm okay. Hey, we gonna all get
Hmm.
on the phone together and
Yep.
figure this thing out. And so a lot of kids don't even know how to talk to college coaches, and so that's something else that that you guys also help and teach them. Hey, these are the questions you want to ask. This is how you want to
Hmm.
approach it. And so just explain a little bit on that experience as far as helping kids become more media conscious and understand the whole process of being recruited.
Okay. That's another reason we started Extra Eyes Media, just to get kids in front of the camera. And like we knew we wasn't a big, a known media service, but we just started to help kids. It wasn't like to be better than no one. It wasn't to compete with anyone. It was just the areas that we felt we could help out. We thought we would try to create a platform for that. And me, I'm not a public speaker. Like even before AAU. I'm very quiet, just I guess being around coaching. God put me in this position to kind of get out my shell. But man, I'm very quiet. I'm not a great speaker. So that was another reason I was like, well, let's get these kids in these amateur interviews that we could do. So when they get to the next level, at least they'll represent Houston well. Because, a lot of it just being comfortable. The more they're in front of the camera, get an interview, they're just comfortable with being themselves, and it just flows outside of their nervousness, anxiety come out where you can't really see that kid's personality.
That's good. And so, Coach, what makes you want to help everybody? Like, what is it about you? And so, I only say that because I'm not a native Houstonian, and so for me, as an outsider looking in, a lot of times it feels like a lot of people are just about themselves. But like you stand apart from that, and so I think that's why me and you, our relationship really hit it off, and we was
Hmm.
able to grow and bond together based off of that. So, what is it that makes you just want to help everybody, man?
um, like I didn't start for AAU. Like if a lot of these guys, I think they crazy when they, to get in AAU. Like I didn't know what I was getting into. Basically, I just thought I'd put a couple of kids into a couple of tournaments and it'll be over. Then once the time started getting involved and all the money started getting involved, then it was like, well, we got to, let this money and time not get wasted. So that's really set some goals here. So my goals was to just help the kids that I had get to college some type of way. And from that, nobody knew the Raptors. Nobody knew, of the players that I had at the time. And when I was trying to sell them, nobody was buying the tickets. So I needed to connect with college coaches on my own. So what I did was I was like, well, I help all the kids in the city. Like I don't have no prospects, so they say. So I identify other prospects around the city, and I help them kind of the same thing. I'll use them to help myself. So within selling the kids from the college, the Houston area, I was able to connect with college coaches. So I was able to get 30 for Then it just built up from there. I have all these college coaches. Well, now I can help some kids in my program. You say, and so but helping everybody was because I'm not trying to compete with the next program. I'm not trying to be better than the next guy. We're just trying to do what we could do. And I just felt this is what God got us here to do. I think this is what He had me here to do because I think all the time, why am I doing this? Why am I wasting all my weekends in this? But then I think about, the blessings that come with it. I'm not in trouble. God bless us in different ways. So I just feel like this is what, He put me here in AAU. Like I say, some people choose AAU, and I feel like I was chosen for AAU.
No doubt, man. I feel the same, man. As Dr. Newsom said, man, you have a good heart. You're
That's
willing
my
to
man.
help anybody, man. You reach out to any and everyone who's willing to work with you. And so, shout out to you for you being you, man, and doing what you do. And so, a lot of people don't even know, man. You coach girls basketball.
Yeah, I coach 7A girls basketball at Alley Middle School and A-Leaf ISD, the best district in Houston.
That's right. Plug your
Yeah,
job, coach.
yeah.
Plug.
But it was no positions open at the boys. So in A-Leaf, it's not like, oh, we're going to get the best coach or whatever, because everybody feel like the best coach. But the only position that was open was on the girls' side. And the girls' coach, came and asked me to join them, Coach Quintero. And at first I was like, man, I don't have time for it. But, he's a real good friend. And then I went to Ollie. So I'm from A-Leaf. So it was like, man, the girls need help. They need you. So I was like, well, put me down. And ever since then, I've been coaching the girls, just trying to help them develop. Some of them have never played. So it's been an experience. It's been a fun ride. And, we're just over there trying to build and develop the players to the best of our ability.
Okay, okay. Pro programs, man. Before we you can stick around, chop it up with us. But real quick, programs. Houston Raptors has been on a mountaintop per se for independent programs. There's to every mountain, there's peaks and valleys, and so now you're kind of in the valley of it. What keeps you encouraged to keep going, man? Because a lot of programs they just they up and quit. They done for, man. But I've seen you've worked and y'all starting to climb back up the
Yeah.
mountain. So what keeps you afloat, man? What makes you be like, okay, as your church say, you got to stay down for the come up.
Yeah, yeah. Once again, God, it be, it's like, well, this is what God wants you to do. And then I keep it completely honest. Like when we started this year, I told the kids, I told the parents, we're not that good. We're not finna set no expectations. We're not going out here to win. And I tell them every week, we're not playing to win. We're playing to get better. We're playing to develop. When you go back to your high school, you need to be better individuals, better ball players than you were when we got you. For the seniors this year, we tell them, you playing for recruitment, no matter what that may be, NAIA. If you can get on the JV team somewhere, if you can get a walk-on position, whatever it is, if that's your goal. But also, we tell them about education. So, we keep it honest with them. We took a couple of visits, and one visit we went to a university and just toured around after a tournament and just, got out the vans and just talked to the kids and the parents for about an hour or so and just let them ask questions. It's a lot of things they didn't know. Like, and I was one of those kids. I never been to a college until I went to Ranger JUCO. Like, I didn't realize it was, you know, dorms full of girls and boys and no parents. Like my grades would have been a lot better if they if they'd promoted college in a different way. It was just
Yes, sir.
college is school. It's more years of school. It was like there's nothing I was interested in. That wasn't intriguing. But when I got there, it was a different atmosphere. So that's another thing that pushed me, especially the kids around my community and neighborhoods that I grew up in, because they don't know. They don't know what college is like. They don't. They only know the school part. They don't know that it's a lot of fun involved. You have to be mature to get the schooling and the education piece of it. So
Hmm.
it's just a lot of different things that just keep us going.
Okay, and so we got somebody who got a question for you before we get to that. You just brought up another point, man. That I like that you guys do. So every time y'all hit the road, no matter what tournament y'all go to, y'all always stop at a college and just like you said, y'all get out, walk around, And so what made you start doing that?
Just to let the kids get this experience. Sometimes we go to the Division 1s, which they might not even qualify for it. But just like basketball, if you ask a basketball player, what's his goal? You think he goes, well, I want to go to NAIA school. They gonna be like, my goal is to go professional. I want to play the NBA. I want to be a Division 1 basketball player. So we go to different schools, but the Division 1s are always bigger. It gives
Hmm.
them more hope and just give them a lot more to see. But we try to go every tournament. I won't say that we able to go every tournament. Sometimes the games end late, and we just get back. But we definitely talk about it and have those talks and those conversations with the kids.
So Mr. Deuce has a question. He says, "What advice would you give a guy that's starting a new program that you learned the hard way?" So, what advice could you give someone?
Man, it's so much. I learned the hard way from buying uniforms on my own to buying the wrong size. So the first set was a complete waste. Not having nowhere to practice. Man, it's so much. I would say just do your own research. Like get out to these AAU events ask a couple of people that you know, maybe they'll attend a practice or two, you know, and then talk about fees. Because I'm gonna be honest, that's always gonna be it. Like you can have a great bunch of kids, a great talented group of kids, but if you don't have the entry fees to get in these tournaments, you know, if y'all can't come up with the traveling expenses, you know, to go to some exposure events, you know, down the street, you know, that get difficult, you know, because people don't realize it costs a lot to play AAU, and I know the fees and everything we talked about, but like we paid over 3,000 just in tournament fees for the program before, you know, and that's tough. You think about, you know, you struggle to collect dues, and you know you got to dish out 3,000 before anything else. That's tough. So it's just so much that go on at AAU. Like I don't. I would say do your research. Like I say, I don't see how people know about it that want to enter or start it, because it's not what it's made out to be. I even tell the coaches that want to coach, I'll be like, man, y'all don't know what you're getting into. You know, it's not as pretty as it looks.
No, that's true. That's facts, man. I used to have my own team. You know, coach for bigger companies as well. It's not, man. Like it's not what it's all cracked up to be and what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then, especially when you have a starter team, you know, locally y'all may be kicking some butt, but you take that first road trip, and you like, man, okay. You know, then you go back out and you know you do pretty good. Then you get outside of the state, and you're like, oh man, like, and so it's a lot that comes with it.
Mr. Jeff,
So,
tell him to
yeah,
get a money guy.
yeah.
That's the
Hey,
first step. If he get that, the dice will roll the way you want him to roll.
it will. Yes, definitely get somebody who is willing to invest, man. Um, in your kids. I know a lot of businesses used to do it back when we were younger. You know, not so much now. But if you got a parent who got some money and is willing to invest, even if it's to take care of like 4 kids, man, like that's so big, so beneficial. Because a lot of times as coaches, you're gonna end up coming out of your own pocket for a lot of expenses. I know you have, Coach Bobby, I have as well. You know, I remember basically paying for a whole entire season before. So
And with the COVID the last few years, man, it's tough.
yeah, and so that can always be tough. It can, man. But Mr. Deuce, thank you for your questions, man. Real quick, this is for both of y'all, man. Finna hop Ant back in here, man. So the difference from just playing grassroots basketball to getting good exposure. What was to you? What's the difference from just playing to getting good exposure?
Who you?
Either one, whoever want to jump in, man.
Oh man!
Hey, I'm out of the grassroots coaching game, so
listen. I'm gonna keep it a buck real quick. All right. So I was listening the whole time, and my boy Bobby, he quiet. So I'm gonna say he kept it real G-rated for y'all. So I'm gonna go a little bit still further back. These guys who charging $500 for tournaments that ain't worth it, stop it, okay? Because the biggest thing is it's about the kids. We're supposed to be developing, helping them. Where as many teams that it is in this city, just alone, you can make your money. You can make your money and some. And I think really the only tournaments that really should be $500 should be tournaments that are, you know, college coaches can come out, or it's some really high profile, you know, kids that's gonna be there where like, hey, you know, this, you know, people coming out, you need to see this, you know, things like that, you know, because when you really think about it, like even the difference between playing grassroots and getting exposure, to me, the difference is that every kid at some point needs to just worry about playing grassroots. He doesn't need to be worrying about exposure. So your tournaments, like, certain things like Elodia, Prime Time, um, crossovers, Harvest Time, all those different places that have, Lutheran North, all like go get you some reps. Go get you some reps. Because when you try to step into the exposure ones, your Sloans that's in here, your Jim Hicks, things like that, you go to the Gasso, now the NY to LA is out here and things like that. That is strictly for you to showcase your skills. Meaning, when you play here in the city in those big tournaments, is you trying to get ranked, okay? But you got to be ready to get ranked. I think a lot of people don't understand that. They think they just, I did this, and that. No, like you got to really be ranked. Ready to be ranked. And then when you start trying to go to these big tournaments where you playing in front of college coaches, I hope you got your reps in, that you'll play through your mistakes. You realize what you're really good at. Meaning, if you're a shooter, shoot the ball. Don't try to be dribbling and everything like that. Get in the game, hit me about 2 to 5 threes with less than 7 shots. Where if you're going to hit 3, go 3 for 5. If you're going to hit 5, go 5 for 7, 5 for 8. Like, I think the biggest thing that people need to understand is that it's levels to this. Everything's levels, and good exposure is at the top. And you got to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? The grassroots is about development. You getting ready for school. Like I heard Bobby say, hey, we try to help kids first get better for school. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to go perform and make your varsity. Like, I don't know how kids be juniors and say, I want exposure, but play on JV. No, you don't. You're not ready for exposure. You need to play grassroots. That's what you need to do. Go get some reps and play. That's it. Like, let's just keep it real. If you're a sophomore on JV, don't come to me and say, Coach, I need to be on the Elite 16U team. No, you don't. You need to be on this developmental 16U team and getting this reps. And I think it's not even about developmental, because everybody's developmental. Everybody's developmental. Let's keep it 100. Ain't no kid perfect where he ain't got nothing to work on. Like, everybody is developmental. And I think sometimes people, because I see what Mr. Dude said, I took my 10U team to the Icebreaker and I'm gonna be real with you. The Icebreaker is what it is. It's the Icebreaker. It can make or break your team, because it's really about people coming to, if you got your big times, they already had teams, and you can't go to the Icebreaker with a first year team and got nobody who, that's hard. Like, it's just hard because it's a different level. Like, everybody's showing up to that. But just back to that whole point, like grassroots and playing a good exposure, I think it's just about understanding where you at as a player and where you at as a program to understand where you should go and play. Because some people need to be at Elodia. Some people need to be at Prime Time. Some people need to be playing, in some exposure. It just is what it is. Like, it's just understand. Like, that's why I love Gasso. You got NIT, you got NCAA, and you got NBA. Figure out where you fall at. Because there's some 15s who get in the NBA and smack people. I've seen it. The Houston Hoops, they've been doing it for the last 2 or 3 years with that 16U team, since they were 14. But you got to be ready for that. And I think that's what people don't understand. They always want what the next man wants. And it's really just get what you can get. And I think that's really the difference that needs to be understood, is like, where is your level in grassroots? Because nowadays it's great. Because, Bobby, I remember back in the day when I was in high school and Hal Passon had the Saluki League at Sam Houston, where you played every weekend in the Saluki League up until almost April or May. And then if you was really, really good, you'll play in some of Jim Hicks events, and then you'll go to Gasso's, all their different stops at college campuses. Yeah. Denton used to be at North Texas. College Station used to be at Texas A&M. Like, if not, you in the Saluki League. Get your reps in. People don't even know what the Saluki League is anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. For real, bro. Like,
that's how the 90s, man.
That's 2000s. All that. Like, they don't understand. That's where you got your reps at. you played, and when it was time to go get on the exposure, if you was on a good team that was able to play in those events, you go showcase your skills. That's just what it was, man. Like now you got a bunch of tournaments where you can go get where you fit in at, but make sure you know where you fit.
And there's nothing, even if you are a team who can play in the top tier tournaments, there's nothing wrong with still every once in a while going to a prime time, going to an Alodia, because sometimes you got to use those as practices. Hey, this is a real life game situation. Hey, yo, we got to come with it, because you may think you come in here and you're going to tear off the Circle K All Stars, and they gonna get up in your ass.
Yeah, they got something for you.
Yeah, you just like, man, there's no way possible we should be, but hey, you gotta go out and be ready to play regardless, what it is and what level it is. And so you gave your difference on just playing grassroots versus getting good exposure, Coach Bobby.
I agree a lot with Coach. It's different levels. So as a director, when I coach, I try to do my own kids recruitment. So when we go to places, I try to, if possible, I try to get some coaches that I could get out to the tournaments to get their eyes on these guys. The more they seen, the more they go remember them. So even if they are recruiting somebody else, and that kid decided to go somewhere else, well, if they seen my point guard 4 or 5 times, and they remember his qualities and what he brings to the table, and he was already on that list where he just moved up a notch. If he's not the next guy in line. So and like you say, it's recruitment. D1 coaches can't come out right now, so we're not even talking to those guys. But the NAIAs or the D2s, whatever we could get or whatever we feel, coaches that are responding to those type of kids, and that's who we invite out. We stay sitting in our schedule, our roster of coaches, and just trying to help them out as much as possible. When we pick terms, I try to support everybody. Been to Jim Hicks, we got some kids going to Doug's, some teams going to Doug's event this weekend. We go to the gas hole, but we try to go everywhere, especially if it's going to be any type of exposure media, because at the end of the day, as an AAU director, that's your job. No matter, I don't care about the quality of my kids. My job is to get them exposure. When I talk to the kids next year about playing for the Raptors, I'm going to tell them that we're going to try to get them exposure. So even the kids over here, that's what they signed up for the Raptors, to get some type of exposure. So we went to the icebreaker and got our heads bust open, wide open. But like I told them, I don't play the game. They let y'all know where y'all at. How serious are you gonna take it? Get into the lab. It's a lot of different things you could do. But I'm gonna get better. That's one thing. We did. We used to get in lab and we get better. But for me, as a coach, I'm gonna try to provide as much exposure as possible. Because even at the icebreaker, in any tournament you go to, you don't know when the media people are gonna be there watching your game. Unless you confirmed it on your own as a coach, you don't know who's gonna come and watch you play. Anybody could be anything that could happen to another team. The hoops could be playing. You go watch the Raptors or the hoops. I'm dang near go watch the hoops. So, you just gotta know that as a coach and as a player.
No, that's true. And so I'm glad that both of y'all touch on that, because there is a big difference between just playing, grassroots basketball. We titled it AAU basketball, but it's just about development. That's what it's all about. And as Coach N said, nobody's perfect, so all kids need to be developed. Everybody needs to go to practice. This is one thing, the one thing that Coach Bobby really instilled in me. If I was to ever do something, hey, you gotta be conditioned. We gotta do conditioning.
Yeah.
Hey,
you ain't touching the court until you run this mile.
But you got to realize.
Hold on, and then we come from A-Leaf. Then we gonna run.
Bobby come from A-Leaf. Bobby come from A-Leaf. When we was in A-Leaf, people don't understand. If you went to Elsie Hasten Taylor, because I was coached by Coach Dunford, you had to be in shape. We pressed. We played fast. You even sometimes the coach was like, "Hey, you running cross country this year?" Like that's how it was. It was you had to understand. Now if you try to get a kid, like, hey man, I need you to run some 16s, and you run. They like, coach, like I'm like, bro, what do you mean? You got to be in shape.
Yeah.
You know, I used to start my practice back in the day with 10 16s off rip. Like, let's get it going. Because you got to be in shape. Because the one thing, and Bobby can test to this, if we are not talented, but if we play hard, play fast, we in shape, we going to always be in the game. Because if they're not in shape, at some point they're going to miss some shots. At some point, they're going to fail on defense because they're not rotating. At some point, you're going to be able to get some steals off of them being tired. So it's, you know, it's ways to understand that, truthfully, what people need to understand is that when you look at the different levels, a lot of the time, man, you can't, if you work on your athleticism, your conditioning, things like that, that will help you as you continue to work on your skills. You know, again, LeBron is probably one of the most talented guys ever, but his health and his body is what made him really be who he's been. Like, that's just keep 100. The health, being able to play, all of that, that's what's important. Some kids ain't ready for immediate either. Do you guys ever talk to your kids about how to make good film and hustle? Yes, I do. And, you know, I think honestly, you know, one thing that Chris helped me with this year is that we try our best to get our kids to understand that it ain't about the highlight film, you know, like where they cut out all the bad stuff you do, or they put pieces of like 6 games and throw it in there and you be like, oh, he had a good game. No, that was from 6 games.
Yeah.
You know, we try to get away from all the, you know, big transitions and stuff like that when we post it and everything. And I appreciate G-Day. You know, we try to key in on what that kid is good at and what he does well. That doesn't mean we're not going to, you know, help him, but we're going to try to make sure we show what he's good at. We know what he does bad, but we're trying to help him good at. So if he's a good defender, if he's a good passer, you know, we're going to get a lot of that. You know, if he's a good shooter, we're going to show him shooting. You know, I think that's one of the things that some of the kids need to realize, and that's what I was tapping on earlier, is when you getting recruited from college coaches at any level, there is roles. So sometimes one thing I don't like is that kid who may be like the 8th or 9th man on the bench and he worrying about playing time. But you like, well, hey man, all you really can do is shoot. You're a 3D guy and you might can't even play defense. But if you're a 3D guy, I get you in for maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. If I get you in, you get 4 or 5 shots and you hit that, and the right coach is sitting there, your name might get written down because you may go play that same role for him. Or you may play 5 to 10 minutes in the game. He runs a couple plays for you and sets you up, and you got a job. And sometimes kids need to understand that. They need to, you know, coaches need to see that sometimes instead of the highlight films. Like, show what you good at.
Yeah, and for me,
and full film.
Yeah, for me, I always talk to people about highlight films. Well, I already know what to showcase, what position you are within the highlight film, and the highlight film is just to gain the attention. You're not going to get a scholarship off a highlight film. Like, highlight film is just all it's going to do is get that coach's attention. Yeah. So if he likes what he sees within that first 30 to 45 seconds, hey, coach, you got full, as Coach Stewart said, you got full game film? Okay, I'm intrigued. I already like what he does. Okay, I need to know what he doesn't do. That's what I need to know, the things that he's not good at. I want to watch his body language. You know, I want to see, as Coach Stewart said, you know, one coach, college coach came, watched Caleb game, and he was clapping and cheering for other people on the team. And so they're like, we need this kid in our school. Like, he's not just a good player, but he's a good teammate. And so it's all those little things, talking on defense, hustling on every single play, not trying to argue with the coach, fuss at the coach, I'm gonna take my jersey. Oh man, it don't matter what I put on that highlight film. if they get that full game film and you taking off your jersey, throwing it down, it's a wrap for you after that, man.
Big, that's true.
It is, yeah, you're right. Listen, that's it. That's all. Highlights just grab the attention. That's it. That's all. It's just an attention getter. That's all it is. And I know kids are enamored with it. They want it. It's like that. They need it. And I try to tell parents, it's not necessarily that you need every single weekend a mix of. I was at the Iceberg this week. I was here this week, and I was here this week, and I was here this weekend. Every single weekend, you don't need a mix because now you're gonna put out too much, and it's just like us as evaluators. I'm gonna give y'all a little insight. The more and more I see a kid, the more and more I start picking out all the bad things. I already know he does good, and so now I'm just picking out all the bad stuff that he does. Okay, he's not hustling. He's not doing this. He really looks off certain people on the team, and so I'm just sitting here picking all the bad things. I'm like, oh man, okay. So now when I really sit back and look, man, this kid's not really, what he's all advertised to be. So you don't want to put out too much film because you can end up hurting yourself at the same time.
That's true. That's true. Very true. But some people be still putting out mixtapes. Like,
no, they do. Some people they put out a lot. Yes, parents can hurt their kids from getting college offers, just as well as some coaches can, and Coach Bobby knows about that. Some coaches who may have been affiliated with a kid previously could also hurt that kid based off of what's the word I want to use? Based off of an idea in their head because of lack of parents, because lack of parent, being interactive with the team, and so they put off, oh, this kid is really this, and can end up hurting the kid, and then you the nuke, you like, his mama cool in the fan. Man. Have you ever met this man, mama? And so, and that happens all the time. And so not just parents, old program, grassroots edu coaches. I know some high school coaches who hold back on information and wait until the season is over because they feel like I don't need this to be interfering with what I got going on. And so there's a few high school coaches who do that as well. Like colleges will be contacting the high school, sending letters to kids, and then the kid that went through the season, lost in the playoffs, he feeling down, and then here come the coach with a shoebox. Hey, I've been receiving these all year for you. And you like, what the hell, coach? Like,
exactly.
Don't you think I would have played a little bit harder? I would have played a little bit better if you'd have been giving me this? Like, but hey, it's a dirty game, man.
Dirty game.
It is. And so yes, a lot of different people can hurt it. Evaluators can hurt. Like I said, if we see a kid a lot too many times, it can kind of hurt your kid. Because if I see somebody else 3 times, but I didn't see your kid 10 times, and the college coach come asking, and we just conversing, and then I'm telling them all the bad. The coach is like, oh man, I kind of like that kid more, but you telling me he do this, but it's because I seen your kid 100 times, and I've only seen this kid 5 to 10 times. And yes, we do need to see the kids more to make the correct evaluations, but the more that I see you, the worse it can be.
Mr. Dudes, it's hard. He said something about, is there a reason college coaches from miles away recruit kids that aren't offered in Texas so that the mama low? I mean, I think when it comes down to certain coaches offering kids that's from like miles away, it might be that coach has a relationship with that college coach and they'll come and recruit that kid from there. Or, some of these small little recruiting things like NCSA, when you put your stuff on there, a lot of the small schools use that because they can't come down here. They can't come and see the kids because they don't have money to get on the road. That's how sometimes you see those schools outside of the state offer some of these kids. And then sometimes maybe, that team may go far away. Like for instance, we went to Kentucky and played, and it was college coaches in there, that asked about some of our players that I didn't even know was out there. You know what I'm saying? Like meaning like that was a college. So it's sometimes those things just happen depending on where you at, but it is also really about relationships because again, like Bobby said, if you know this coach, and then he move and go to a school somewhere else, and he on a staff with this coach, then that coach move and go somewhere else, then that coach move. Now you didn't already have 4 different coaches move, and if you was able to touch when they had 4 different schools, now you're in a position to have relationships with different people. And that's really what it's about more than anything is, Bobby tapped on something that's real is that you as parents need to realize that, and as everybody, make sure when you go play for a program that coach can prove to you he know college coaches and that he truly, truly has that number in the phone. He really, really does communicate back and forth. And then sometimes with Bobby, we may have some college coaches that in our phone, but we know we ain't had no players that can play at that level to even call. So ain't no point of calling them if we ain't got that kid. I'm not going to call a Division I kid if I don't have a Division I kid in my program. That's just being realistic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just being real to yourself because, again, if I put myself on the line for you and you don't fulfill, then you just messed up my relationship. So, it just is what it is. And it is a use situation. It is a use situation and a relationship when it comes to this grassroots sports and stuff like that. It is. And I think that's kind of what's hard sometimes because there's no loyalty in use situations.
But even though it's worded use, it still can be a good relationship.
No, it can. Yeah. But you gotta have the understanding of what that means.
They take the word out of the context. So if you using me, you don't really like. I'm not saying I don't like you. I'm just saying, hey, look, we're gonna use each other.
Right.
In this relationship we have is, and that's with any relationship, non-basketball related. With your wife, you use your wife use you, you use her. It just is what it is.
So, but I also will say, one thing, let's be real. The plus of the whole grassroots and exposure, especially in Houston, has had some positive growth. And I think sometimes we need to really realize that it has been some positive growth because, again, like Bobby just said, man, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, Bobby. I didn't know why y'all had created Extra Eyes Media at first until you said it today. I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie. But I did know that you do help kids get into schools. And I think the biggest thing that sometimes we need to understand is that, we have a lot of different companies now in the city of Houston that is helping kids behind the scenes, publicly, whatever. But I mean, we have a lot of eyes on kids now where, again, we can really give a true judgment of how we think these kids are. Now, everybody gonna have their own opinion, but some kids, everybody just know that kid's good. Like, hey, good, that kid's good. And then some people got their, opinions through the relationships that, excuse me, this kid is better than this kid or whatever. But I will say for the city of Houston, we have grown a lot from just getting exposure out to people and stuff like that. And sometimes I think that's why it's so hard for us to keep kind of like certain teams really good because it's just so many options sometimes, that they can kind of tap into. But again, it's levels. And I think that's where we got to kind of understand where things are at is if you understand the level you're supposed to be on, because again, sometimes when people I don't want to be on a shoe company team, I want to do, and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You think you're ready for that? And I think they get so much of a misconception because I ain't gonna lie to you. When I went to Kentucky and I seen them mean streets, them all Ohio's. Hey,
Yeah.
them different type of dudes. Them different type of dudes. 3D Empire, JL3, all of them out there. Mid Pro, which is NYCLA, Independent, JH1. Like I'm watching guys like, hey, it's a whole different level. And that's why sometimes I don't think kids, again, they don't understand the difference between playing grassroots and getting good exposure. And sometimes I think, kids need to understand that, man, because it's a lot of kids out here, that a lot of these kids don't even know about. Because,
Coach Bobby, you got to jump in, man. You got to cut in.
No, I just wanted to say, and this for like guys like you, Mr. Jeff, Coach Willis, Rob, Carroll, Gary. Man, there's so many others out there. I'm gonna stop now. I don't want to forget nobody, but a couple of years ago, the small media guys was like the joke of the city. Why y'all bringing in these type of schools and they're not that important? But look how many kids that love these opportunities to play basketball at the next level, and then like guys like ourselves, man, we bring colleges from Kansas, they wouldn't hit areas this hard because they didn't believe they could get the kids. It was like a waste of time, but everybody and a lot of these AAU coaches, they got connections with these coaches, not just in Texas, but look how many of these kids, the Eastern Arizonas and all these things that's going on. That's from the small media guys that's bringing these coaches here and building these relationships where they feel they can connect with us to get these kids. You see what I'm saying? And that's on a lot of these small media guys because it was a joke. Just imagine if we was like, oh, well, they laughing. Let's stop doing this. We brought in 5 coaches in 1 month. Coach, you remember that, Mr. Jeff? You was a part of that. You helped bring some in. 5 coaches in 1 month, and it was like 6 or 7 kids, if not more, that got opportunities from that. Like, that's how the city changed, but it don't really be spoken about. Not saying, oh, we the reasons, because there's a lot of AAU guys that's been doing this before us. You know what I'm saying? That's been helping their kids. But like, we shouldn't downgrade or down talk or stop competing with everybody. The more if that one AAU coach got 2 coaches and he bringing them to the city of Houston, that helps the city of Houston because now this coach at that university or school or college, they feel like they could come in and recruit the kids. If you open them with open arms and you keep bringing them and you give them information about the kids, so it just helped the city. So it's a lot of good things going on in the city that don't be talked about. We gotta like I think Rob Carroll said it. I'll be watching y'all show. Rob said it on here one time. Like, let's not focus so much on the negative topics that people want to bring up. Because there's a lot of positive things that's going on. It's just are we willing to highlight those guys because they not A-list celebrities or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
No, I do, man. You just brought a kid in from Louisiana who played on a shoe team, no offers, and just picked up a JUCO offer. And so I'm just it sometimes you just have to know, and it goes back to what I said earlier. Sometimes it's about playing with the right program. Every program is not the right program for you. Every high school is not the right high school for you.
Right.
It's about playing with someone who's connected if you don't have those type of opportunities. Mr. Deuce had a question for you, Coach Bobby. He says, do you ever have a kid that outgrows your program, and how do you handle that?
I had kids that outgrew my program, and I sent them to shoe teams. I don't have a problem with that. But at the end of the day, I'm a hard worker. So those kids left, one came back. And he was able to get everything he wanted. And he left again. He went over to Stacks with Curtis, my boy Curtis. And Curtis helped him get a lot of Jesse. Curtis, when he left, he probably picked up, he was in 10th grade with us. Beginning of the 11th grade year, he had a couple of D1 offers and committed. And then he went with Curtis over there, which we knew even with the Raptors, and I'm not knocking nothing from Curtis now, but just at the way Jesse progressed, I don't think it don't matter who he played with, whether it was a circuit or not. You know, that was just gonna be his year. You know, I've been playing 17U since the end of 8th grade. That was the plan. But if anybody outgrow my program, you know, it was a kid, Zach, that's at HBU right now. Big boy, big fella. I don't know if he's still there or not.
Yeah, Zach.
He is.
On everything I love, he was coming over to the Raptors, and he was supposed to work out with the Raptors. I gave him the address to a circuit team. He didn't even know that, you know, but at the time I was like, well, Jesse was going over there. I was taking Nico. So some of my best players was gone. They was leaving. So he didn't really have no talent to play with. So when he showed up to that practice, I told him, hey, look, man, I got you over here with this team right here. It's a circuit team. They finna go out of town to California. You know, and that's the true story.
Yeah, man. Not everybody is willing to do that though. And so that was a good question to ask. You know, it just that comes with the territory at times. You know, kids outgrow the program, but some coaches get bitter about the situation, and then some coaches like, look, I played my part, and guess what? When you play your part, that kid always comes back. If you realize, okay, I'll just play my part. I'm here to help you out. Whenever that team ain't playing, guess what they're gonna come play with? Hey, they ain't playing, coach. You got that? Yeah, but you're gonna have to hop off the bench. Oh, that's cool, coach. I'm gonna play.
But let me say this too.
They come back and play. Go ahead.
I feel, and it's just my opinion, you know, some people may disagree, but I do feel I have the connects for the circuit kids too. Like I help circuit kids get college offers with college coaches. You know, it was some team on the Nike circuit, not even from the state. Me and that AAU coach got a decent relationship because when they left, I had a couple of D1 coaches, you know, inquire about their kids, and I just gave them their number. I don't play middleman. Hey, this is a coach number, coach. I'm sending them, and I'm out the way, you know. But he called me back, and you know, hey, thank you. You know, I got you. You know, where he gave me a nickname, but it was just, you know, thank you for helping his kids. Like I don't get no rewards for that, but if I'm in the gym away from my family, away from doing something with my kids, you know, I'm going to utilize that, you know, to the best of my ability. If I have a college coach that might like a kid, it don't have to be my kid, you know. That's that goofy stuff. Like, we need to stop competing with each other and just help the kids. Because I guarantee you, if it's a single coach, AAU coach, a media guy, whatever, if he's single and a lady like Beyonce, walk up to him and ask him what he do it for, I promise you, he goes, man, I'm helping the kids. So let's just really help the kids. Like, you know, let's just be real. Y'all, am I lying?
No, you're not.
It's so real. It's so real. Hey, that's so real.
No, that's what you hear almost everybody say. I'm doing it for the kids.
I'm doing it for the kids, but they won't go. They won't really do some things for the kids. So you know, that's what we gotta. You know, we gotta really focus in on and really, you know, staying dedicated and staying true to these kids because they need us. See, but a lot of these people don't come from certain communities. You know, they was born with silver spoons and two parent households, so they don't really understand how much, you know, you're talking to just being around these kids and, you know, just being a social buffer. You know, that works a lot. That's why I'm in a position I feel like I'm in because of the coach Jared and Mike Owens from the Raptors. You know, at times I was, you know, I grew up on Bensonet. It was sometimes it was so easy to get in trouble, but I thought, man, what if my coach hear about this? You know, I can't go to his big old house on the weekend. Like, that was a getaway for me. So you got to realize some things you do for the kids that take them a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick Brown's just confirming what you said, Coach Bobby. You sent him a list of kids from the H-Town to pass on to coaches. That's what it's all about, man.
Coach.
That's what it's about. As Miss Elliott said, everybody got to be willing to help everyone. And, you know, and used to be like, man, you got to publicize. You got to let people know who you help. Hey, man, look, that's not me. I'm not. I ain't got to be the first person to tweet something out. You know, I ain't got to tell everybody who I've helped get scholarships at no matter what level it is, D1s all the way to NAIAs. Look, I ain't got to tell nobody none of that stuff. I don't. Because I know that I've helped that family and that family knows who helped them. Now, if they want to shed the light, they can. But me as a person, I'm not going to do that, man, because to me, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. As Coach Bobby said, I say I'm here to help. I'm
Mm.
here to help, man. As I tell people all the time, the only thing that I'm going to charge you for is filming because it's time consuming for me.
Yeah.
Me hopping on this, calling some. I love to do that. Do. Hey, coach, guess what? I seen this kid. Blah blah blah. That ain't. Hey, that don't take no time, man. But and
Yeah,
that's where
but
it's
a lot
supposed to
of
be,
people
man.
don't know how much you help out on the back end though, you know. So I feel Anthony when he said, I know I told you that before too,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you do a lot of work on the back end and it's so quiet, you know, and you so humble. So a lot of people don't know how hard you work, you know what I'm saying?
But
What
hey, it
now
ain't
they
about
starting to
that.
see, but you know, even if some of them still don't know, just because you not with a AAU program, they don't know how many AAU programs you help the kids, you know, how
Mm-hmm.
many coaches you tell them, hey man, these guys could play, you know, but hey, what Drake say is no rewards in this, man.
It ain't no rewards,
Dang.
man. It's none, man. So I don't. A lot of people chase different things in this game. Most people, it's about money. For me, it's not about that, man. I got a job. Like I can stop doing this and I'm cool.
Right.
Like I got a job, so it ain't about that, man. Real quick, want to touch on this question, Mr. Dubes. He says, "Why is it grassroots coaches seem to push prep school over JUCOs? Am I missing something? Free school." Now, for me, when you speak of prep schools, are you speaking of like a 5th year option that's equivalent to a JUCO, or are you just speaking of just a regular high school that's called a preparatory college? And so for me, I need to know more. For y'all, what y'all are the grassroots coaches? I'm out of the game. Been out the game for a while. What y'all say about that?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this, and it's crazy. A couple years ago, I would have been on the other side. Like, man, you need to go to JUCO. You need to go JUCO. Like that prep school stuff ain't what it is. Like, nah. But over the last couple years, just watching how the basketball world is developing, where I think a lot of people don't understand this game. You know, I don't think they understand this game at all. Where that's because they can come back. No, if you do it the right way, this is why it's done. And the reason why I say this is I have a different outlook. So when I went to Lone Star Tomball and Lone Star Kingwood, a lot of people don't know we play against junior colleges. Okay, so if I go to that JUCO, which is not a JUCO, it's a community college, for 2 years and don't take full-time classes, only take 9 hours, I don't lose any eligibility to any 4-year school. But I will lose eligibility to JUCO because if I play more than 10 JUCO games, that counts as a year. So now I've developed in my body, mature. Maybe I was an early graduating kid, 17, 18 years old. Now I'm going to where now people graduate at 19, whatever. But since 17, I go to college. I was a late bloom. I developed. Then I'm able to now go to college and still have 4 years left and got 2 years under my belt. So when you flip over to the post grad, which is what it's called, and they go to a school for a year, yes, it costs, but if that kid wants to better himself and, you know, to get better looks or whatever, but they got to go to a real good post grad. It got to make sense because sometimes they go to post grads and get the same situation they got when they went. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't work out in their favor. But some people use it to where they can go and develop themselves and get their body and certain things mature before going to use any of their eligibility. So if you go to a prep school, get your body right. And again, let's say you go to JUCO after that. That JUCO is going to recruit you and play you more because you have experience. If you look at the JUCO now, they looking for transfers. They looking for guys coming from the portal. And I had a coach, one of my guys at Kilgore, told me straight up, he will recruit a post-grad kid before he recruits a high school kid. And that's because of the experience and maturity. You know, they had already had some games against JUCO guys and stuff like that. And then the other thing is people gotta realize JUCO ain't a developmental, it ain't for that. They looking to win, they looking right away. Guys looking to come in and get out. And sometimes these high school kids don't understand that. They don't get that when you go in, this is a business. So really, I'm starting to realize that if your kid graduates at 17, 18, and he not ready maturely in his body, send him to a post-grad because he going to get that year and not lose no eligibility. And if he go to the right post-grad, they'll have him logged in, signed up for college courses where he'll take like 2 college courses each semester to get some classes underneath him. But you got it, like we've been saying, Bobby and G-Day, do your research and you'll know what real post-grads, which is some are called prep schools because they can do post-grad as well. And sometimes prep schools kids go and reclass, from that cert, to reclass again to develop, things like that. So they'll understand that you can really get ready and produce, because sometimes people don't understand, man. Like people now, these coaches, they trying to win. They not trying to develop your kid. They not worried about his development. They trying to keep their job and they trying to win. So if you not ready, hey, and I had to think about it when I seen Cashew a couple years ago at Duke, 20-year-old freshman. Hey, he was ready. He was ready at 20-year-old freshman, but he was ready. He was ready to produce. And sometimes I used to be a big person, like all this reclass stuff and all this and this and that. But I realized that the college coaches are telling you to your face, we don't care about the reclass stuff. We looking for guys who can play right away. And you're starting to see like D2s and D3s even get JUCO guys or guys who go prep, who go post-grad and things like that because they trying to win. That's just what it's about. So whatever you can do to help your kid be better off, where if he is not ready, he go to a post-grad, but make sure he can still get some college education in, get some credits underneath his belt. So when he walk in, he's ready for school and develop and get more mature mentally. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, hey, this college ain't no joke. It's a dog-eat-dog world. So if your kid not ready mentally, he'll be on the end of that bench, and you be like, "Well, my kid's good enough." No, mentally he's not good enough. Skill set, yes, he's good, but mentally he's not mature enough. And I learned that with my own stepson. He redshirted at McNeese his first year because he was not mentally mature enough. It just is what it is. It's nothing wrong with that, So people need to understand that he was a 18-year-old freshman playing with 22, 23, 24-year-old grown men who was mature. So you got to realize, and it ain't getting no better, bro. It's getting worse. You're going to see 26-year-old guys graduating from college, 25. You 17, 18-year-old walking on campus trying to play with grown men? Nah. You're not going to be mentally prepared for what they're doing. You just not. Especially not the suburban kids that come out of Houston. Let's just keep it 100. Let's just keep that 100. Like, it just is what it is. There's some things you ain't never seen. That's just how I go. And I'm going to keep 100. So I think now I would say, yes, if your kid can go to a post-grad and mature, go right ahead. I think now there are some JUCOs that will recruit guys, but best to believe, JUCOs will get 15 guys on their rosters for practice and get 10 more guys in a walk-in class. Some do 20. So don't lie. Some of these kids, I'm going to blend. Yeah, you in a walk-in class or you on the roster? Which one you in? Which one you in?
And
hey,
we got a JUCO coach on here right now, Russell Bundich, man, Coach Russell, over at Lee College, man. And what he's saying right here, if that post-grad ain't a post-grad in Florida, Arizona, if you're not in the northeast parts, he's talking about Boston, Vermont, Massachusetts, you wasting your time with the post-grad situations.
On the East Coast,
yeah, because they're gonna play the best of the best.
Correct.
And so he's agreeing with everything Coach Ed's saying. That's facts. Hey, because it's for them, that's their livelihood as coaches. Look, I need to win so I can get paid. I got some kids. I got to feed some mouths. I got mortgages. I got car notes. Hey, I need some guys who gonna come in. We gonna win. I get paid. Hey, y'all come in and I win, and we keep winning. Guess what? I may I may get promoted from JUCO to a D2. Make more money
Yep.
as a coach.
Yep.
Then go from that D to a D1. Make more money. Hey, it's like you said. It's a business, and a lot of people, not just kids but parents as well, don't understand that it's a business. They don't look at it as a business. They look at it as that's my baby, and not a business. And then, like you mentioned, going to Lone Star, you can go to Lone Star, and that could be considered a post grad. Um, a lot of NAIAs and D3s have JV teams, and they JV teams play against other JUCOs.
Mhm.
That's
Hey,
another year of development
but they
because
don't
that
know.
school is willing to take a chance on you. As you said, a lot of JUCOs have practice rosters. A lot of D1 schools have practice rosters. People have no clue about.
Hey, it's crazy. Hey, St. Thomas University head coach Anthony Medina went to Lone Star Montgomery, played against me. I was at Lone Star Kingwood. Went to D3 at Cedar Valley in Dallas. Then he went over to St. Thomas University and played. Now he's the head coach at St. Thomas University. People don't know their history, man. Like, hey, like I played at Lone Star Tomball with some real goons. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had an opportunity to go to Blinn, Texas State. I just didn't have the grades. I had an opportunity to go to St. Thomas, didn't have the grades. Like a lot of dudes don't know. It was a kid back in the day. He played at Lone Star Tomball, Lone Star Sci Fair for 2 years, went JUCO at Navarro, and then played 2 years at TSU. He played 5 years of college basketball. 5. He making money overseas. But it's again the thing you posted up earlier, G-Day, is about trust the process, man. Trust your process. It is what it is. Everything gonna happen for a reason. So
I'm laughing at Mr. Dude's comment talking about Martin love the kids, but college coaches love the talent. Hey,
big fat.
that's true right there. And yes, Mr. James, man, JUCOs are recruiting kids from D2, D3, and kids in the D1 transfer portal. JUCOs are they're recruiting they're recruiting them.
Yep.
And so that's what I keep trying to tell parents. Like, it's tough now coming out of high school. Consider yourself to be blessed if you're receiving a scholarship offer out of high school. No
At
matter
any
what,
level.
no matter what, I don't care if it's a partial, whatever it is. Consider yourself blessed because it's a recycling. So, that D1 didn't work out for you. Hey, I told you to come to JUCO. Hey, I tried to recruit you anyway to come to JUCO first. Hey, come on back down here to JUCO. Let's get to work. And so it just is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with going the JUCO route the first time. It ain't nothing wrong with going NAIA. Nothing wrong with going to a D3. Nothing wrong with going to a D2. You don't always have to just jump. Oh, I'm D1 or bust. Hey, man, well, you just gonna be busted.
He also asked me a question about this winning Trump development.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
that.
Oh, I ain't gonna lie. For me, it doesn't, because I'm a developer. I've always been that way. I tell my parents right now in my AAU, I don't count my wins in AAU. I don't count my wins and losses because that's not what it's about. If I count my wins and losses in AAU, I would have been quit a long time ago because I ain't had really good programs like that. I ain't had just really good teams. I've developed, had a good team from here and there. Then maybe, they get busted by a bunch of, I remember BU bust one of my teams up I had back in the day. Hey, it was what it was. It just is what it is. But at the level of college now, because it's such a business, they don't care about developing. And coaches would tell you that. Like they don't. And the truth is, it's a hot and ready situation. Now, Are there some coaches who still believe in development? Yes. Do I believe some of those coaches have a longer career of winning? Yes, I do believe that because I feel they understand. Because sometimes it's not about developing the skill; it's about developing the young man. And again, like I said earlier, I think sometimes a lot of kids have a lot of talent. I just think when your body and your mind matures to a certain level, that's when you're truly ready to be, to get exposure and to expose who you are. Because we can get in the gym, work on a lot of different things. But if your body and your mind is not at the level of maturity, it's just some things you ain't gonna be able to do. And that just is what it is. I mean, that's just a true situation. So I don't believe in that, but I hate to say that's what the business preaches, and that's what they continue to preach. The business is preaching that because it's at the end of the day, it's a business. It's about the dollar. And I hate to say it, but that's what it's about. And it's because people's livelihoods are on the line. And the way the game is, coaches are switching, flopping, getting fired, getting demoted every day, all the time. And that just sucks, man. It sucks. But for the kids, we gotta figure it out.
No, facts. Facts, man. I agree with that 100%, man. And we can look at Duke, for instance. Always known for winning, always known for winning. This year sucked. Horrible. It was horrible. But they still recruiting top kids to come to the school because of the winning tradition.
Correct.
So those kids, even though they was bad, kids are still willing to go there because of not the education, but the winning tradition. And alumni is still going to invest because of the winning tradition. Now, if Coach K keep having losing seasons, they're gonna get his butt on out of there. They're gonna get somebody in there who can win because we win. Hey man,
hey,
listen.
Listen.
If he keep having subpar seasons, they're gonna get rid of him because they are used to winning.
Hey, let me let you know something right now.
I don't care about his Hall of Fame status.
This last year, hey, I'm a Duke fan. This last year was a fluke. We finna see him right back on top next year, and you're gonna see Kentucky right back on top. Shout out to the Houston native, baby.
Yes,
Javier Williams. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
That's all I'm saying, man.
Hey, Houston native. But I'm finna drop one more gem for Ellie just on some real note. And you made a very great point by bringing up Duke because it's levels. When you look at the Duke staff, look at how many coaches is on their staff. So they have the ability to develop guys and get them in on the off days for skill work. But when you think about some of these small schools, they only got 2 or 3 coaches, or maybe 4 coaches wearing different hats. They don't got time for the develop. So sometimes when you go to these schools, if you feel your kids still need to be developed, then you need to ask those tough questions. And maybe you need to think about sending to him a school that will develop him. And that may not be the school of your first choice. But if he goes there and develop, he may be able to make some money down the line. And I think sometimes people don't understand that either, is because that's some tough questions that I didn't ask either because I didn't understand. Again, it's levels. There's levels to this. And sometimes we got to understand that and truly understand what's the best position for our kids on that. Because, if you don't, you can get your kids lost.
Yeah. Yep. But also, real quick, before we get ready to wrap up and get some final words, and if coaching at a school like a Duke is a resume builder, so guess what? I'll go coach at Duke for free. I will. Give me like 2 seasons. I can put that on my resume. Small school can be like, oh man, he coached at Duke. Hey, come here. We don't care about all the other stuff, man. You coach K, Hall of Famer.
Facts. That's true though. That's true. I mean, everything's a resume.
It is.
My 3 years at Lone Star Tomball, I coached for free. At Lone Star Tomball, when I was coaching, I coached for free 3 years. I ain't get paid not one dime. So again, that helped me get at Concordia. you know? So like I was in Tomball developing kids, working in Elodia, you know, for probably about like almost 6 years before I got on at Tomball in 2015. So, you know, from 2009 to 2015, I was hustling, working, doing things, working in the cafe at Lone Star Tomball so I can coach college basketball. You know what I'm saying? So it sometimes experience all that rest of it works itself out, man. It works out.
It does, man. Coach Bobby, man, want to thank you for hopping on today, man.
I
Um,
appreciate having me, man.
yeah,
Yo,
anytime you
Haley
want
take over, man. Let Haley take over.
to take over today, man.
Well, well.
But any final words you got, Coach, for the people? Or
No, not really, man. Just everybody stay down for your come up, whatever that is, man. Don't give up on your dreams. Don't stop working. You know, work as hard as possible. You know, and keep praying. And I appreciate y'all for having me on, Coach.
no, man, no problem, man. Coach Ant, man, any final words, man?
Hey, look, man. Look, man. Hey, look, bro. It just feels good to have one of my neighborhoods on the show, man. Hey, it's always good because I understand where he came from. You understand where I came from.
Right.
You know, so it's always good, man. But again, just want to say I'm blessed for this opportunity. You know, I just believe that this is gonna just give me another opportunity to just do what my purpose is, and that's be a servant, you know, for the kids and continue to help and just continue to grow who I am as a person and network with people and things like that to bring attention to the city. You know what I'm saying? Because again, just like Legacy, you know, more schools going out playing national schedules and things like that. You know, ain't no hate there. I'm all for it, you know, and all the competition, you know what I'm saying, on getting kids, but it's just gonna give us even more of that opportunity to brand the city, man. And that's what it's about. Like a long time ago, I always said, man, like my whole thing is to help the city, bro. That's everything I've done has always been there. I've always wanted that pressure and that level to, you know, be able to help kids and bring that stage for the kids, you know. So I'm just super excited about this opportunity. You know, again, man, I love being on this show. Again, appreciate my neighborhood homie coming on the show, Bobby. You know what I'm saying?
Always.
You know, always, man. You know, it's a lot of dudes where we come from ain't doing this. A lot of dudes, a lot of dudes. You know what I'm saying? That done paved the way for us from hooping, from coaching, everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's big, man, and it's continue to do the things we do.
So as always, man, Coach Dudes got to it before I can say it. Pay it forward, man. Whatever it is that you do, you know, make sure you pay it forward. You know, I always do my pay it forwards and when I'm eating somewhere. So once a week, not every time. I'm just like once a week. So if you happen to be in a drive through behind me, maybe I might knock out your payment for you, man. You never know, man. So you know that's something that I like to do. Um, just pay it forward with knowledge. You know, I'm always willing to help anybody with anything. There's no such thing as a dumb question or a stupid question because if you don't know an answer, it's a good question. So anytime anybody has any type of question, you already know you can contact me. I'm free. Anybody wanting to network, you already know I'm down for that. Because it's all about paying it forward, building the community, making everything better. So with that, just real quick, if anybody didn't see it, once again, salute to Coach Anthony Willis on becoming
Congrats,
the new head
Coach.
coach
Appreciate
at the
it.
Woodlands Prep International School. You know, make sure that y'all follow them on Twitter. I don't know the handle off the top of my head, but make sure y'all follow the Woodlands Prep International School. They call the Wolverines. They got the Michigan colors going on. You see it, the blue and the yellow at the top, man. We just want to congratulate him once again for being able to serve the community of Houston and try to bring some more national exposure here. Until the next time, man. Hey, we'll see y'all later, man. This